All right, today we're going to talk about more ways people are losing Social Security benefits this month. My name is Ed Weir, former manager of the Social Security Administration. I help people all over the country with all things Social Security, Medicare, retirement, survivor benefits, disability, spouse benefits, and I'm doing a live Q&A. This is a live broadcast. If you're watching this recording, make sure you click subscribe, and I'll keep you updated on all the changes. It could be a lot of changes on Social Security and Medicare going forward. New Supreme Court ruling, bunch of stuff happening. But if you have questions today, make sure you type them into the chat, and I will talk about 3 of the ways people recently have been losing money. I do this live Q&A, and people say, hey, I've been doing this. And I'm like, oh my, no, that's incorrect. And so there's a lot of people losing money. So once a month or so, I do a video like this and I share with you how people are not getting the money they are entitled to. So let's go ahead and get started here. Number one way people are notice losing money this week, this month, is they thought survivor benefits start at 62. That is incorrect. So there's different ages of when you're entitled to your benefits. If you're talking just regular retirement benefits or spouse benefits, then divorced spouse benefits, then 62 is the key age. That's when you can start all that. It's a full reduction at 62. If you wait until your full retirement age, 66 and 8 months or 67, then your benefits are no longer reduced. But 62 is the earliest you can receive retirement, spouse, divorce spouse benefits. 65 is when you can receive Medicare. And sometimes you have to sign up for Medicare, sometimes you don't. If you currently have health insurance from current work, yours or your spouse's, and your employer has 20 or more employees and you're happy with it, then you don't have to sign. You do not have to sign up for Social Security or Medicare at 65. You don't have to pay any penalties. So a lot of people miss that one. But in terms of survivor benefits, 60 is the key. If you are entitled to survivor benefits, you can start survivor benefits at 60. Or you can actually start at 50 if you are a disabled widow. It's called disabled widows benefits. From 50 to 60 years old, you're entitled to those. At 60, anybody that is a regular surviving spouse, widow, widower, you don't have to be disabled at 60 to start your surviving spouse widow's benefits at 60 years old. So the age, the whole thing is rather complicated. That's why I do this live Q&A to help as many people. And I've done over 500 videos on all of this. So any of the questions you have, it's probably been answered a few times in my videos. But if you have questions on your specific case, make sure you join us. All right. So again, a lot of people, oh, I waited until 62. I was like, why didn't you file 2 years ago for survivor benefit? They didn't know. Another thing about survivor benefits, as I unfortunately I had to tell people directly when I took claims at Social Security. I've taken hundreds of thousands of survivor claims, retirement claims, all the rest of it. And then people have come in and they thought once their current spouse passes away, they receive that check. And they thought they continue their own check as well. So if, let's say, the wife comes in and her husband just recently passed and she was receiving $1,000 and he was receiving $2,000. So a total of $3,000 coming into the house. He passes away, she comes in, she gets that embarrassingly low $255 lump sum death benefit. I know it's embarrassing. And she gets his benefit. If she's her full retirement age, she gets 100%. So she gets that $2,000, but hers essentially stops. And the confusion comes around is that, yeah, your benefit continues. You just get your spouse's. That's kind of correct. Her benefit, the $1,000, continues, and she gets the difference between that and her deceased spouse. So her deceased spouse was $2,000, so she gets her $1,000 plus an extra $1,000 for a total of $2,000. So that's where a lot of people make that confusion. And unfortunately, they don't plan for it. They think $3,000 is going to continue and say, hey, if I pass away, you're still going to get $3,000. No, no, no. The total coming into the house from then on will be $2,000. $1,000 from her and $1,000 from his work record for a total of 2,000. So the household has lost $1,000. And I have had the unfortunate job of telling a lot of people that, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, how am I going to survive now? I've got rent, I've got mortgage, I've got all these other," and so please make sure you share this information with as many people as possible so they plan accordingly. The other big mistake people are making when they file for disability is they think they have to wait for 12 months to get disability. Social Security disability. Social Security defines disability as the inability to work. So your disabling condition prevents you from working. And that disabling condition lasts 12 months or longer or ends in death. If you're not going to make it to 12 months, then that's where the ends in death thing comes in. But the disabling condition has to last 12 months or longer. So we used to have people coming in all the time and I'm pregnant. I want to file for disability. Well, I think pretty much in every state, maybe Florida might be different, but every state, a pregnancy does not last 12 months or longer. So there is no short-term disability with social. I grew up in Florida, so I can harass Florida. So Social Security does not do short-term disability. It's all long-term disability. So it has to last 12 months or longer. But the problem is people misunderstand that and they think your disability has to have been continuing for 12 months in order to file for disability. No. If you stop working yesterday, and I've had this happen thousands of times, you're working and you're just pushing through it and pushing through it and pushing through it. And one day you just said, yeah, I just can't, because of my disability, I just can't do it anymore. And you stop working. And the next day you walk into the Social Security office and you file for disability. And we ask you, says, when did you, stop working? Because again, disability is defined by the inability. Well, I just stopped yesterday. I just couldn't do it anymore. Okay. What's your disability? This is my disability. Is that something that's going to last 12 months or longer from here on? Oh yeah, it's I'm going to have this for the rest of my life. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and file a claim and do all the medical stuff and contact your doctors and all that other kind of stuff. So as long as it's 12 months going forward in the future, that disabling condition will last for 12 months. Then you're good. Then you can go ahead and file your disability claim and hopefully you get approved. But people think, oh, I have to sit around and wait for 12 months. I haven't had this disability for 12 months. And we've had people with car accidents. They had a car accident yesterday and then they come in the next day. How long have you had that disability? Well, since yesterday, since the car accident. Then that is a viable claim. So a lot of people miss that. They're just sitting around waiting for that 12-month period. And unfortunately, they're losing a lot of money. All right. I said I was going to do 3, but I always do extras. And so let's do number 4. Another way a lot of people are missing money or getting in trouble, and Anderson Cooper did a good expose on this, clawbacks and overpayments and all the rest, is people don't know about the annual earnings limit. Anytime you retire early, we're talking retirement, survivor benefits, spouse benefits, whatever the case may be, early, you get an annual earnings limit based on early retirement. So this year, if you retire at 62, 63, 64, whatever, under your full retirement age, you're limited to the amount of $22,320. So anything over $22,320, Social Security holds back $1 for every $2 you go over. So if you go $1,000 over, they hold back $500. And how do they do that? Well, you can call them up and tell them I'm going to work too much, or what a lot of people do is they just wait and file their taxes the following year, and Social Security sends them a nastygram in April or May of next year and says, hey, you worked X amount over, here's, you owe us this money. But one of the things about that, I did a video, it's called what is ARF? It's called the annual reduction factor. And if you take your benefits early, let's say you take your benefits 30 months early, your benefit amount is reduced by 30 months. So anytime you take your benefits early, every month it's early is a reduction for that particular month. So you take your benefits early, 30 months reduction, and then 10 months later, you go back to work and you continue working until your full retirement age. Once you hit your full retirement age, the computer system automatically recalculates your Social Security benefits. So if you were 30 months reduction, 30-month reduction, but you only took 10 of those months, the Social Security computer system will automatically go in there and say, it shouldn't be 30-month reduction. It should only be a 10-month reduction. So the computer system automatically, usually takes about a month or two for this to happen, because it is the computer system of Social Security, and it will recalculate it, and it'll give you a 10-month reduction for the rest of your life. That's 100% automatic. You don't have to do anything. So there is a lot of people, call me at full retirement age and say, "Hey, I just got a big bump on my check. Well, I didn't know they made COLAs that big." Or, "Oh, no, that's because there's some months you did not receive your Social Security check, and in those months it was restuck back in there. It was recalculated. It was unreduced." They don't give you those months. And it's like, "Hey, I was entitled to $1,200," and they're not going to give you, "Oh, you were entitled to, $1,200 for those 10 months. So we're going to give you $12,000. No, they don't do that. They just unreduce it for those particular months. So people are often, "Oh, do I get all that money back?" No. Well, you do, but not like that $12,000. You just get your benefits unreduced. So, all right. So those are 3 of the 4 of the things that people are missing this month that I've seen. And now let's get into it and make sure all y'all, as they say in Texas, are getting all the benefits you're entitled to. Okay. Make sure you type your questions in the chat there. First question: can you claim divorced spouse benefits, married over 20 years? I'm over 70 and on SSI, even though being remarried. Okay. How you wrote it there? No. If you're talking about divorced spouse benefits, no. If you're remarried, then you cannot collect those. If you are collecting surviving spouse, divorced surviving spouse benefits, and you remarried after the age of 60, then yes. But the way you wrote it, then no. Yes, and Penelope jumped in there as well. No, the remarriage disqualified you. If it's your spouse, your ex-spouse is still alive and kicking, yes. Dr. Ed, thank you for all do. You're welcome. My wife only 3 months paid to in Social Security. Okay. All right. I have one question. I retire on my own retirement. Then my husband died. I was 2 days from being 63. And when the COLA came down in the beginning of 2024, I only got COLA on my retirement, not his. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. When COLA is decided, then the Social Security system automatically, 70 million people that are receiving Social Security checks, the COLA is automatically put in there. So yeah, that doesn't sound. Yeah, I would call them up. I know that's an impossibility for that not to happen. So just call up Social Security and they'll explain it to you with your particular record. But yeah, there's no way. Regardless, if you're getting retirement benefits and survivor benefits, which you can do at the same time, you just get one minus the other. Then it's called a dual entitlement, which a lot of people, they receive disability and spouse benefits, disability and surviving spouse benefits, or survivor benefits and, switch to retirement benefits on their own record. So yeah, that's I know the internal computer system, and I know it's not great, but that's impossible for that not to be applied, the COLA. So my husband is 65 and currently on workers' comp. Is he eligible for Social Security disability once the workers' comp is terminated? Yeah, workers' comp has no relevance in that respect to Social Security disability. No, file for disability if he's on workers' comp. Yeah, it doesn't affect Social Security at all, unless it might affect the amount, but it doesn't affect whether he's entitled or not. But if it's a workers' comp public disability benefit type thing, it might affect it. But that's a whole different issue. No, tell him to file for disability benefits immediately, if not sooner, because it takes forever for Social Security to make a decision, anywhere from 6 to 9 months nowadays. It's yeah, it's taken a long time for them to make a disability decision. All right. Let's see. Married 20 years, now divorced, 59. How do I find out which is more mine, Social Security, or ex's? Um, well, yours doesn't really matter right now because you're 59 years old, so you can't collect benefits on your own record anyway. Um, and you said you're divorced, so you didn't say he's he or she is passed. So you wouldn't be able to collect any survivor benefits at 60. But if you're making plans for the future, which is I like it, I like people making plans for the future, is um, you can, the problem with those numbers that you Social Security obviously doesn't want to give out, personal information on other people to you until you prove that that other person is somehow related or was related to you. So, you find out how much your benefit is. If you're not in touch with that person, then, whatever. You can't file until you're 62 anyway. And at that time, you call them up and say, hey, I want to, check out my options. I want to file for retirement benefits and I want to file for spouse benefits. And then when you tell the person who's scheduling your appointment that you want to file for spouse benefits, then they'll ask you that information on that person, their social security number. If you don't have that, no problem. Just tell them the person's name, the date of birth as well as it, where they were born, and they can find the social security number. And how it works usually, because again, they don't want to give out private information until you actually give proof. Once you provide the marriage certificate and the divorce decree, then they can give you more details. But the trick around that is you say, okay, I want to file for spouse benefits. And if they say, no, you're not entitled to spouse benefits, um, and you were married to the person for 10 years, you're not entitled, not because you're not entitled, you're just not entitled at that particular day because there's no more extra money. So immediately if the person says, "Oh, no money there. There's no spouse benefits there." You know that your divorced spouse benefit amount is not more than twice your full benefit amount. So you can find out at that time. So anything earlier than that now, you can call and try and give them that information, and they might be able to tell you. Says, hey, yeah, I want to plan for the future. I want to find out how much retirement I need, how much savings and stuff I need, and so I want to see if there's any money. And so I'd call the 800 number and give them that information. And say, hey, can you tell me what my benefit amount is? And can you tell me if this person is twice my amount? And they'll probably just tell you yes or no. They'll say they probably won't tell you how much you will get. Yeah. So they're not really supposed to tell you, but sometimes you know, they tell you without telling you. So, all right, let's see here. Oh, it's having bad connection here for some reason. Oh no, what's going on? I wonder if is so I'm doing this on TikTok separately, but I've also got YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and everything. And come on over to the people on TikTok. Come on over to YouTube. Just type in Dr. Ed Weir or MyGov Expert in YouTube, and it'll pop up. My page will pop up, so you'll get a better connection. So, guess something's going on with TikTok there. All right, let's see here. Who pays for Part B when on an Advantage dual SNP plan, a dual SNP special needs plan? Okay, good question, All Star. So, who pays for Part B if you're on a Medicare Advantage dual plan, a dual SNP? It's DSNP, special needs plan. So, you've got Medicare Advantage, and there's many different versions of Medicare Advantage, but one of those is for people on Medicare and Medicaid. Yes, you can have Medicare and Medicaid at the same time. A lot of people are always missing these other benefits. So you can have disability and survivor benefits. You can have disability and spouse benefits. There's so many people that are just Yeah, that's why I'm doing these crazy videos. But this person has Medicare and Medicaid. And when you have Medicaid, depending on the level of Medicaid you have, it's usually like a QMB or a QI or a Slim B, or depending on your particular state, the state will pay for your Part B premium. So that's always recommend if you're having difficulty paying that extra, $174.70 per month for Part B, then please go down to your state Medicaid office, Department of Social Services, Department of Welfare, whatever they call it in your state, and apply for Medicaid and say, hey, please pay for my Part B premium, and the state will pay for it. There's another way you can get your Medicare Part B premium paid for partially or full. They're called Medicare Advantage Part B give back. And those are usually veterans usually use those, or people that are very healthy and they don't use that much healthcare. So depending on your particular area, they pay for part of your Part B. Usually, all the other medical type stuff, they're not as good as a regular Medicare Advantage, because after all, the insurance company is just paying part of your Part B, either $50, $100, or all of it, depending on your particular area. So they're paying all that money for you, and um, you know they're profit-driven entities, and so if they're going to pay that money, then they're going to take it out of somewhere else. But if you're a veteran, those are usually pretty good, because you use the Veterans Administration most of the time. And that's why a lot of these plans are called Patriot plans or Honor plans. So it's a Medicare Advantage Part B give back. If you want to help with that, I put together a team that works, that is licensed and contracted throughout the country, and they can see what's available in your area. And as I mentioned, 2025 is going to be the big year for changes on Medicare Advantage, Part D, and all the rest of it. Bunch of stuff, law changes, regulation changes, and 2025 is going to be the big one for, bigger than the last 10 or 20 years for Medicare Advantage. A lot of changes. So if you need help in October, click on that little link I just put on there, and you'll see it'll say one-on-one Medicare help. And you click on that, and there's a little button there where you can put, hey, I'm good now, but put me on your list for October. And then in October, when the new plans come out, we'll give you a call and we'll compare what you got with what else is available, the new plans in your area, and make sure you're getting everything you are entitled to. All right, let's see here. Cami, my ex-husband turns 65 next year, married 26 years, neither remarried. I'm 65. Can he draw off my Social Security when he turns 65 and wait to draw off his own Social Security when he reaches full retirement age? No. Yeah, no. That stopped in 2016, essentially. No, he has to file for benefits on his own record and yours, if he's entitled to any benefits on your record at the same time. So no, he can't wait. If the only time you can do that is survivor benefits. If filing for surviving spouse benefits, can file for just surviving spouse benefits and then wait for, got a little delay on this one too, surviving spouse benefits, and then wait for benefits on your own work record to increase all the way up until full retirement age or 70 or whatever the case may be. But living benefits like that, spouse benefit, divorce spouse benefits, no, you cannot do that. Susan, lost job with COVID and forced to take early Social Security at 65, not 66 and a half, was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. So can I get disability along with retirement benefits? Yes, if you're below your full retirement age and you became disabled, then yes, you can file for disability benefits. It's obviously not going to, get you Medicare early, but it might increase your monthly benefit amounts for the rest of your life. So that's always a good thing. It takes anywhere from 6 to 9 months to get an initial decision, but yes, you can actually, at the very first day, if you're 62, 63, and you want to file for disability benefits, but you can't wait for the decision and your first payment to come, because it takes 6 to 9 months at least. What a lot of people do is they file for retirement benefits and disability benefits at the same time. So, Megan, okay, no problem on YouTube. Sounds good. Okay, good, good. So it must just be a TikTok thing. I'm 68 on regular Social Security. My ex-wife took her Social Security at 62. Her benefit is less than half of mine. Okay. 60 is all right. I was sick yesterday, so I'm losing my train of thought here. I'm 68 on regular Social Security. My wife took her Social Security at 62. Her benefit is less than half of mine. She remarried and he passed. Is she entitled to collect on my Social Security, and will that affect what I get? No, if somebody collects on your record, it doesn't affect what you get at all. No, not at all. So if her benefit is less than half of yours, then she can go ahead and file for benefits on your record. Sounds like she was remarried and he passed, but his but usually survivor benefits are usually more because they go up to 100%. Um, but yeah, have her go into Social Security and say, see if there's more money for survivor benefits, and if there's more money on survivor benefits, get those. But if there's more money on yours as a divorced spouse, then yes, whichever one is the most money. Hit that like button, people. Yes, please. I have to submit my short form CDR. Is it best to fill out online or submit the paper review? Yeah, either way is fine. Yeah, either way is fine. They probably won't do anything because they've stopped doing that for the rest of the fiscal year. So you might have gotten one before the commissioner put a stop to those. So you fill it out, and they probably won't even do anything because what the commissioner, this is the first time I've heard them doing this in decades, because the DDS is the people that make the decisions on the disability. They're so inundated, as all Social Security is, that they've put a temporary hold on continuing disability reviews, and for the end of the fiscal year, so they can focus on new claims, adjudicating new disability claims. Thank you so much. You have helped people all around the world. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I've gotten calls from people in Germany, the Philippines, Thailand, Panama, Portugal, Spain, Germany, England, all these expats around the world. Yeah, it's always fun to, what time is it in your area? So I work weird hours myself. So is there someone of your network that helps people work out their retirement who are below low income? No, it unfortunately just in terms of Social Security, and it's just me right now. I've been trying to find another Social Security retired employee but nobody else. When they retire, they retire. They don't want to do Social Security anymore. But I do have people help with Medicare plans, Medicare supplement plans, Medicare Advantage plans. I've got people that can help with that. I've got people that can help with Obamacare, burial insurance, stuff like that. But unfortunately, I'm still looking for a retired Social Security. There's been a couple of, but the problem with Social Security is um, the computer system does a lot of the calculations, and so if you get that muscle memory, you start doing that stuff, and the computer takes care of everything, and they forget why this and that happens. And so I've talked to a few people, and it's like, wow, you've really lost your basic knowledge. And so, yeah, it's for right now, it's just me. And my son's helping me out, but he's not a Social Security expert. He's my computer guy. I was reviewing the Social Security cheat sheet. Is it accurate? I'm not sure what cheat sheet you're talking about. There's tons of different cheat sheets out there. When you call in to apply for survivor benefits, do you still need to come in? No, not necessarily. If you're going to file for, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. If you're going to file for survivor benefits, you can do that on the phone, and they, probably won't need the death certificate because that's automatic with Social Security. If they need a marriage certificate and a divorce decree to prove the 10 years or whatever, then you can just mail those in, and they have to see originals. They have to see the originals. So even a notary, a notarized copy of your divorce or marriage certificate, that's not an original. They don't, Social Security does not accept that. It has to be the original marriage certificate and the original divorce decree with the little raised seal and everything. And you send that in, or if you're paranoid about being lost in the mail, then you can go ahead and take it in. If you take it in, you hand it to the person at the window, they make a copy of it. They have to make the copy of it. Then they will give your originals back to you right then. So they won't keep your originals. They'll make a copy of it, certify that they saw the original copy, and then hand your copy back to you. So if SSD, I get SSD if I apply for divorced spouse Social Security, would it be retro for 1 year? Um, Probably not, unless you have a protective filing, which I think I just talked about a couple of days ago. If you called them a year ago and you asked about that, and for some reason they dropped the ball or something, then you might have a year of retroactivity. But no, normally no. But it doesn't hurt to ask and say, hey, I called you all last year or whatever the case may be, but no. But yeah, so Anthony, you're on the right track. He's getting Social Security disability, and he knows that if he can also get divorced spouse benefits, if there's more money there, if the benefit is over half of your benefit amount, then you can get those benefits, and that won't stop your disability. Tens of millions of dollars are being lost every month because people think, well, I'm on disability, and if I file for surviving spouse benefits or divorced spouse benefits or spouse benefits, that will negate my disability benefits. No, you'll still get your disability, and then you'll get surviving spouse, divorced spouse, spouse benefits, whatever the case may be, on top of that. One minus the other, but you'll get extra money on top of that if you're eligible. But your disability will still be there, and you'll still be on disability. And you'll still continue to get your Medicare because you're still on disability. And then when you turn your full retirement age, then you'll have your disability will switch from disability to regular retirement. So you'll be receiving retirement benefits and whatever comes on top of that. So yes, the whole thing is complicated. And it's going to get even more complicated with that new Supreme Court ruling, the Chevron. So more and more people are going to be losing benefits, unfortunately, because they just don't know what is available to them, and Social Security doesn't have the staff to reach out to people. So that's my mission in my semi-retirement. All right, let's see here. Judy, part one. Okay, yeah, part one. My husband is one of the few remaining CSRFs. Yeah, I had close to 100 employees in my office, and our last CSRS employee retired right around the same time I retired. He had also worked part-time outside jobs and now receives his full Social Security pension, no WEP, since he is still employed. He now must answer a letter from SSA asking if he has retired and started receiving a pension based on earnings not covered by Social Security. No, not yet. It then asks when he expects to receive. Yep. So, that's where a lot of overpayments start, is because people don't notify Social Security when they start receiving that non-covered pension. So, yeah, that is a good strategy. You're not WEP'd, that windfall elimination provision for people that didn't pay into Social Security with their primary employer. You're not WEP'd until you start receiving that non-covered pension. So Social Security is just, sending out a regular letter just because there's so many people that don't notify Social Security that they send out that letter. So yeah, if as soon as he starts receiving that non-covered pension, make sure you call Social Security, make sure he calls Social Security, and they'll need a letter. It's called the WEP letter. It'll say when you're first eligible for that pension, when you're first entitled to that pension, and how much that pension is per month, those three things. So just reach out to OPM and just see, I need a WEP letter, and it'll be super easy, and then it'll be adjusted. My surgeon has recommended a $15,000 procedure my Advantage plan doesn't cover. I'm 60, so I have a life saving. So I have a life savings I live off. Do I have to pay for the procedure myself to avoid failure to follow treatment? Um, oh, failure to follow treatment. So that sounds like it's you're on yeah. Well, obviously you're on disability because you're 60 and have Medicare. Um, uh, yeah, Medicare Advantage. If that's why I always recommend people Medicare supplements, because if your doctor says you need whatever and Medicare covers it, then insurance company can't say anything. When you have a Medicare Advantage, you're essentially giving up Part A and Part B, and theoretically, Medicare Advantage is supposed to approve everything original Medicare would, but yeah, it doesn't happen like that. But I would, if I were you, I would appeal that denial and say, hey, my doctor surgeon says I need this. And so I would appeal that decision with your Medicare Advantage plan. Disability and retirement benefits at the same time. Um, yeah, well, you would file for disability and retirement benefits at the same time. You wouldn't get those at the same time. Um, what people do is they start receiving their retirement benefits, so they got a check coming in, and once they get their disability approved, then it switched to disability benefits, minus the number of months you received early retirement. So, but you can, as I said, you can receive disability and spouse benefits. Spouse benefits are a form of retirement benefits. So, yes, so confusing, right? Oh, another part three. Such a pension, he is still not sure when he will retire. Can he just write that he hasn't yet decided, or does he have to enter a date? Uh, yeah, just put, yeah, they don't care if until you actually start receiving the pension. So put, you know, January 1st, 2050. So, yeah, they don't care if at that time. So just kind of give a decade estimate. 2030s, 2040s, 2050s, and maybe I'm going to retire sometime around that. So yeah, it's they don't care until you actually start receiving that pension. Thanks for what you're doing. I applied for my Social Security spouse benefits last week. All right, good deal. Hopefully they treated you right. I took early retirement, was bumped onto Medicaid. Now that I'm 65, Medicaid will not cover my Medicare premium because of assets. Yeah. I have been advised to apply for subsidy to cover the premium. Yeah, Medicaid is the only subsidy out there that will help you with the premium. And if you have more assets, because Medicaid is a welfare-based program, if you have high income or, well, it's not really high, Medicaid is determined on income and resources. So if your assets put you over the limit, then, Medicaid won't get it and they won't pay for your Part B. So the only other way to get your Part B paid for is one of those Medicare Advantage Part B give back plans. How long does it take for an initial decision in California for SSI or SSDI? Yeah, 6 to 9 months generally. It also depends on your disability, and it really depends on your doctors, how quick they are in providing medical records. So yeah, there's a lot of variables in there. Um, I've mentioned this before. I've taken disability claims, and the next day they were approved. Terry cases, terminal illnesses, and stuff like that. So, but other cases, mental health issues, back pain, stuff like that, those usually take a lot longer. If you have something tangible like an MRI that shows, the issue, then those are pretty slam dunk. But yeah, mental health issues are always difficult. They get approved all the time, but they do take longer. DAC receiving SSDI, so DAC is a disabled adult child receiving Social Security disability insurance. Would a DAC continue to receive when DAC father deceased? Yes, absolutely. So you would actually switch from a disabled adult child receiving benefits on a parent's record and that parent is receiving retirement benefits or disability benefits, then that child will receive 50%. As a surviving child, a surviving disabled adult child, then you would receive 75%. So the benefits would actually increase. Jackie filed for survivor benefits. I have a retirement pension. How does that affect what I may get? It doesn't affect it at all if it's just a regular retirement pension. If it's a retirement pension from a non-covered entity, that is, you work for a city, state, or other government agency that did not pay into Social Security, then it will affect. But if it's not that, then no, it won't affect your benefit amount at all. Social Security wants you to do the retirement plans and savings and stuff like that. Husband waiting for SSDI filed his retirement Social Security at 62. How do they determine if any, what will be deducted upon approval of SSDI? Filed his retirement 60. So yeah, it'll just basically be it's a rib after dib, a dib after rib. Yes. However the number of months he was receiving his retirement check early will be deducted from his SSDI, because SSDI is the benefit amount is basically what he would receive at his full retirement age. So if he just filed for Social Security disability and just did that, then he would receive his full benefit amount. But if he needed the money, so he filed for early retirement or whatever the case may be, and he was receiving retirement benefits for 10 months, that's essentially kind of deducted from the disability benefit. So Social Security will do all those calculations. My husband applied for disability and received a call from the reviewer, and she said they will only consider medical records for 1 year prior to the date he applied. Is that normal? Yeah, it really depends on what type of issue you're talking about. So in his particular case, yeah. But people that trying to prove that they're disabled before the age of 22, they go back 5 years, 10 years. So it really depends on the particular issue. So my wife is over in the Philippines, never had citizenship. Can she get survivor benefits? Yeah, it doesn't have to be a citizen. If she has a green card or something like that, then she might be able to get benefits, but it has to have some type of legal status in the United States. So again, that's what all the misinformation out there, the clickbait and the misdirection is illegal aliens, undocumented, get all this Social Security. It's not correct. That is not correct. Hello, I am 64 years old, retired, and I am working part-time to pay for my health insurance. If I stop working after I get Medicare, will my Social Security be adjusted? Well, your Social Security is always adjusted based on COLA. And if you continue working, if you're 65, 75, 85, 95, you continue working and paying to Social Security, and that's one of your high 35 years, then yeah, your benefit amount is increased. Can't read your phone numbers, so could you 888-817-0446, but the best way is to click that little button there. All right, let's see. Okay, I just read that they will be stopping spousal payment as of 2025. Have you heard of this? And does that include widow's payment? Yeah, that's clickbait, misinformation. Yeah, so that's incorrect. Just finished my mental examination. What happens next? Yeah, then that report goes to the Disability Determination Services and they make a decision. Thank you so much for all your hard work and support. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Be a bug if your doctor is not forthcoming in a timely manner with medical records. Yeah, I agree. I did a video on that as well. I did 4 videos on how to file for disability and the entire process and the appeals process. And one of the things is when you file for disability, make sure you contact your doctor and ask him what address you should use for requesting medical records, because some doctors' offices, if they don't keep the medical records there. They have like a central repository type thing, and or they have other offices. So to make sure the whole thing is expedited, make sure you get the right address. So this might be a dumb question. Okay, these are usually really good questions. Cheryl, what's up, Cheryl? But do you have videos on FMLA? No, I don't quite understand it. My employer is trying to force me out as they cannot accommodate me because of, yeah, no flying restriction. Yeah, no, I don't have, yeah, on anything on family medical leave, unfortunately. I'm divorced, but was married for 10 years. I'm on disability. My lawyer told me when I turned 55 years old, I can file under my ex-husband's Social Security. Said no. My lawyer says they're wrong. Who is right? No, yeah, at 50 you can file for disabled widows benefits. So if you're on disability and you were married to the person 10 years, and there's also a 7-year thing in there, but yeah, so really people file for disabled widow benefits all the time from 50 to 60. And if there's more money on that particular benefits, that person's record. So that might be the case where your lawyer says, oh yeah, theoretically, yes, you're able to receive disabled widow benefits. And you call Social Security and say, well, yes, you were married for 10 years and you're disabled and all that kind of good stuff, but there's no more money on there. And because there's no more money on there, then you're not entitled because there's no more money there. So that might be, but I would call up Social Security again and kind of double check that, because your lawyer doesn't know what the benefit amount is on your deceased. Um, da, da, da. Oh, and okay, I want to. It has to be a disabled widow's benefit. So he has to be, your ex has to be deceased. So um, they can't get SSD or SS retirement, but non-citizens are getting SSI. Um, well, yeah, non-citizens can get SSDI or Social Security retirement if you're a green card holder and all that kind of good stuff. Um, but and non-citizens can get SSI. So if you're in this country legally, yes, you can get SSD or Social Security disability or retirement, spouse benefits, survivor benefits. But if you're not in the country legally, if you don't have a legal status in the United States, you can't get any of those. So, oh, he is not dead. Then no, that is disabled widows benefits. I wondered if I can apply for Social Security disability or other program if I'm on FMLA. Yeah, that has no relevance to Social Security at all. I'm 63 years old. I am doing my job well. All they can give me, but the no-fly accommodation. Yeah, if you can't do your job because of whatever disability, then you can file for disability. And FMLA has no relevance whatsoever to Social Security. So go for it. If early retirement is deducted from SSDI upon approval, is that deduction from the first check or only since that is usually a larger amount? So yeah, it's usually yeah, it really depends. Usually takes a little bit longer to calculate it out. You're talking about the first lump sum. Yeah, if they calculate it quick enough, it'll come out of the lump sum, but if not, out of the monthly. So can you receive unemployment while filing and waiting for a decision on your SSDI? Absolutely, unemployment has no effect on Social Security whatsoever. Dr. Ed, thanks for your service and beyond. I have been disabled since 2020. If my spouse files for retirement, would I or Social Security will send me something kind of info about he's retiring? No. Your current spouse, well, no, but it'll be addressed to him or her, but no. But um, remember, if you're 62 years old and your divorced spouse is 62 as well, you don't have to wait for them to file for benefits. Remember, it's called the independently entitled divorced spouse benefits. So if you're 62 and your divorced spouse is 62, tens of millions, probably hundreds of millions of dollars being lost here. You don't have to wait for that person to actually file for benefits. It's called independently entitled divorced spouse. You can file for benefits on their record, even if they haven't filed for it. Yeah, a lawyer knows he's still alive, but he keeps swearing at 55. And I keep trying to tell him, yeah, you're low. Yeah. Yeah. As soon as I saw a lawyer, it's like, okay, so it's got to be disabled widow. It's got to be a widow benefit. Then yeah, 50 to 60. But yeah, if your lawyer knows he's still alive, then your lawyer is not very okay. I'm not going to talk bad about lawyers here today. Let's see. Love your program. How often do you broadcast these live events? I thought only on Sundays and Thursdays. I switched it to almost. I did 3 months straight, every single day. Yesterday, I was my first day in 3 months that I missed. I had a pretty high fever, and it's still up there right now, but I'm persevering. Gunny Highway, adapt, overcome. Let's see. The questions. When I draw my Social Security, well, I get my Social Security and 30% of my husband's together. Um, Yeah, it really depends when you retire. So you'll have to file for benefits on your own record. And if your spouse's benefit is full benefit amount is twice yours, the full benefit amount is what you're called your benefit amount at your full retirement age. Is if yours is less than half of his, then you're entitled to benefits on his record. And it'll be reduced if you take it early. How can I get a full mouth implants, not dentures, on Medicare? Yeah, Medicare doesn't cover implants. Medicare Advantage, some of those do. They're starting to cover. They're starting to cover implants, but implants are crazy expensive. So it really depends on the Medicare Advantage plan in your area. You can reach out to us, and we can, or in October, if you have a Medicare Advantage plan right now, reach out to us in October, or fill out that little form and we'll put you on the list for when the new plans come out in October, and then we'll reach out to you and compare what you have with what's available next year and see if we can get you some dentures or implants. One of the tricks on that is um, you um, you know you find a plan specific to your needs, because all the Medicare Advantage plans are only good for 1 year. So use that 1 year to your advantage. So if you need implants or you need this, that, or the other, get a plan for that year that really has a lot of benefits for that. And then you're like, okay, yeah, it's really good on dental, but if I have to go to the hospital, it's a little bit more expensive. MRI is a little bit more expensive, but okay, hopefully that's okay. But I really want the extra dental. So you get it on the extra dental. And then the following year, you switch back to, okay, I don't need dental anymore. I'm good there. And then you switch back to a plan that, saves you money on a hospital and all the rest of that stuff. So you kind of use that to your advantage. Does life insurance and selling a home affect your survivor benefits? No. Not at all. I was a stay-at-home mom. Wife never. Uh, I was a stay-at-home. Wife never worked. No plans of remarrying. Can I draw off him through though he married? Yes, if you are a divorced spouse, and it doesn't matter if your ex-spouse remarried and has a new wife or husband or new kids, you can collect benefits on that person's record. You have to file on your own first. And then if yours is less than half of theirs, their full benefit amount, then you can file for benefits, and it won't affect them. They won't even know it. All right. So still buffering a little bit. I apologize. A lot of buffering. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with TikTok there. It's yeah. YouTube and everything seems to be good. So oh, Megan. Oh, yes. The reference there. Thank you. Megan put the reference in there. She is awesome like that. This is the Palms reference, because what we've seen happen. I've sent people down to the Social Security office and said, "Hey, ask for independently entitled divorced spouse." And they talked to somebody at the front window that might have just been hired, 2 months ago, and they just don't know. And they said, "No, you can't file for benefits on your divorced spouse until they actually start filing for benefits." And that's 100% incorrect. So people called up, "Ed, you told me a lie. You said I can file." And I says, "What did they tell you?" Oh my gosh. So Megan and I have been providing this reference, RS00202.005. And you go down there and you show them that, and then they say, okay. And then make sure you tell whoever that you actually see and says, "Hey, by the way, that person right there is giving out incorrect information. So yes, please get them trained. Let's do a couple more questions. I'm 64 and have not collected Social Security yet. If something should happen to me, what age would be the best for my wife to collect survivor benefits? Is she does not have a work history, so would be under me. What if something happens? What age would be the best for my wife? Well, when you're 100, that would be the best for you and your wife to collect when you're, you pass away in a nice, good, hang gliding in Jamaica at 100 years old, 105, 110. That's the best. But I see what you're. In terms of survivor benefits, she will get 100% of what you were receiving when she hits her full retirement age. So if she can wait until her full retirement age, then she'll get 100% of your benefits. So that's, the best. So whatever you can do to, you know, burial insurance or life insurance or whatever the case may be, savings or whatever. Do you have the widow's references even though you're divorced? Widow's reference even though you're divorced. That's just a straight widow's claim. If you're, you can set up an appointment. And that's the trick usually on these is to call the 800 number, set up an appointment, and usually you get better. If they set you up an appointment, you when you go into the office, you don't have to deal with the frontline customer service representatives, which are the hardest working, least paid people in the office, but they're also generalists. They're not specialists in retirement or disability or survivor benefits. But if you have an appointment, then you sidestep those frontline people and you go immediately to a specialist. So the key is to get an appointment, and that way you can talk to an expert in that particular field. So how much can you work if you take an early retirement? $22,320. Anything over that, they hold back $1 for every $2 you go over. All right, I think that'll do it for today. I will be back tomorrow. And if there's a question that I did not answer, I apologize. TikTok, I'm not sure what's going on with the buffering there. But you can come over to YouTube. Seems to be better connection there. And join me tomorrow. And if I missed any questions today, I will answer them tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.